When I think of Adrian Wilson on the field, I think of intensity. He was the most intense player I've ever played with.
He laid his body on the line each and every play.
If you were going to cross the middle of the field as a receiver, you were going to feel pain. If you were a pulling guard and he's in the box, you're going to feel the pain.
They knew where 24 was, and if they didn't, he made enough noise to where you would find him the next time.
He was really that guy that set the bar, set the tone for all of us in terms of how to practice every single day, what was expected from us, and he was that bell cow.
Welcome everybody to a new series I'm going to be starting on this channel called Throwback Thursday. You know, there's about 4 months until the actual NFL season starts, so I have a lot of time to kill. So from now until the start of the season, every Thursday, we are going to be highlighting one player to do a video on in team alphabetical order, and I'm going to be calling it Throwback Thursday. Original name, I know, but it's going to be a series that I'm going to be doing on this channel up until the start of the NFL season. This series will focus on players who I think have been either forgotten, haven't gotten the recognition they deserve, or were maybe overshadowed by better players at their position in their era. Now, I'm going to primarily be doing players during my years on this earth, so that's kind of the 2000s, 2010s era. Obviously, I won't be doing any current players, but I'm going to try to keep a majority of the players in that kind of time frame. So these aren't necessarily going to be the best legends of the game or, you know, Hall of Famers. These are going to be guys that I kind of think have been underappreciated and undervalued as time has progressed. So, as I'm sure you saw by the thumbnail, today's first episode is going to be about Adrian Wilson. Adrian Wilson was a safety for the Cardinals. He's a player I really liked growing up. And I think that as time has passed, Adrian Wilson has kind of been forgotten in time. You know, I think being in the same era as safeties like Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu and Brian Dawkins, I think a lot of people kind of overshadow Adrian Wilson because of that fact. So today we're going to be taking a look at Adrian Wilson, taking a look at his career, his life after football, and why I think he's deserving of a Throwback Thursday video. But before we get into that, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We actually just hit over 110 subscribers, so big shout out to you guys. We're on the road to 10 mil, so I would love to get there as soon as possible. Also, like I said, this series is going to be a continuation every Thursday, so if you don't want to miss the next episodes, make sure to subscribe. Also, I have a very special video coming out tomorrow that I promise you guys will not want to miss, so make sure to stick around. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the life and career of Adrian Wilson. Adrian Wilson was born on October 12th, 1978 in North Carolina. He attended NC State and was a 4-year starter, but before being taken 64th overall by the Arizona Cardinals in the 2001 NFL Draft. Now, in 2000, the only way to describe the Arizona Cardinals would be dog shit. They were 3-13, but it kind of saw that they were going to make some improvements. They increased by 4 wins, which is pretty substantial, to win 7 games in Adrian Wilson's rookie season. Obviously, drafting Adrian Wilson, they hoped that they would have a defensive cornerstone that they could turn to for years to come, and he was exactly that. He was on the Cardinals for all 12 years of his career. He earned 5 Pro Bowls, 2 second-team All-Pro mentions, and 1 first-team All-Pro. He was the captain of that defense for many years, and he is the epitome of what you want in your defensive backfield. The thing that sticks out to me the most about Adrian Wilson was his versatility. He was equally as good against the pass as he was against the run. He was a willing and capable run defender, but could also drop back and defend passes with the best of them. Now, like I said, being in the same safety era as Brian Dawkins, Troy Polamalu, and Ed Reed, it's tough. It is really hard. And those guys are, you know, bona fide Hall of Famers. And while Adrian Wilson definitely isn't to their tier, I think he's a damn good safety regardless, and I think that he goes very underappreciated in the, you know, history of the NFL. I think the most successful stretch for Adrian, both from team success and individual success, would have to be his 2-year span from 2008 to 2009. In 2008, obviously, I don't know if you guys remember that Cinderella Cardinals run where they went all the way to the Super Bowl and were this close to winning. The big reason for that was because of guys like Adrian Wilson on that defense. He anchored that defense. They were playmakers, they were opportunistic, and they were part of the cog that led Arizona all the way to that Super Bowl. But unfortunately, as you guys know, the Steelers pulled one out of their ass, and Santonio Holmes had the greatest toe-tap touchdown of all time to barely steal that Super Bowl away from the Arizona Cardinals. But then in 2009, Adrian followed that up with the best individual season of his career, winning first-team All-Pro honors. In 2009, he had 5 interceptions, 11 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, a forced fumble, and 75 tackles. Those are gaudy numbers for a safety, both in the tackling game and in the pass defense game. Adrian, like I said, he was versatile. He was known for his toughness. He was known for his hard-nosed mentality. And I think that the Cardinals were very, very grateful to have him for many years. Adrian continued the quality of his play for a while, but ended up having 2012 as his last season. I believe in the 2013 season, he ended up signing a contract with the Patriots, but never ended up playing because of a torn Achilles. So 2012 would be his last year in the league. I think looking back on Adrian Wilson, he's kind of, again, in that weird middle ground where he's in that era of Troy, Ed, and Brian. But also, he came right before safeties like Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas and Derwin James. So he's kind of just a bad time to be a really, really good safety. But he has stayed busy after retirement. In 2015, he actually rejoined the Arizona Cardinals as a scout and would stay in that position for the next 4 years. And he was actually very successful as a scout, in my opinion. He was, in some part, responsible for the drafting of Kyler Murray. And I'm sure he also had a very big voice in the Cardinals drafting Budda Baker. I'm sure he knew safeties very well, and him being a scout surely helped with the drafting of Budda Baker, who those two guys are inarguably Arizona's 2 best players up until this point, I would say. He would then get promoted to the director of pro scouting for the Cardinals, and then would get promoted once again to the vice president of player personnel in 2021. And as recently as February 28th of this season, he was actually announced as the new vice president of player personnel for his hometown team, the Carolina Panthers. So a really cool post-career resurgence for Adrian Wilson, who is now a vital part of the rebuilding Panthers front office. I'm sure, you know, having the first overall pick was a big reason why he went there, to have, you know, what is now known to be Bryce Young in the building. I mean, I think the Panthers can really turn this around. And I think Adrian Wilson is going to be a big part of that. He's clearly a very good football mind. He was a smart player. It's clear to me that he's been a smart scout up until this point, and he's now in a very high-ranking position in the Carolina Panthers organization. Lastly, you know, in his spare time, he runs the Adrian Wilson Foundation in which, quote, hopes to empower at-risk youth through education, mentorship, and athletics. So good for Adrian Wilson. He's staying very busy in his post-NFL life, and it seems like he's having a second career in the NFL, this time as an executive. I loved Adrian Wilson growing up. He's one of my favorite Cardinals players, and I think he's somebody that, again, has just been really swept under the rug. So I just want to remind you guys on Adrian Wilson, maybe give you a lesson for those of you who don't know him, or give you a quick trip down nostalgia lane for those of you who do remember him. But this is going to be the first episode of Throwback Thursday. I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you guys liked the video. Like I said, I'm going to be continuing this series alphabetically through the start of the NFL season. So I hope to get more and more of you guys liking the series. Until then, again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to watch the video tomorrow, which I am very excited about. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.